The sun was setting over the African coastline, painting the sky in gold and orange. The waves whispered softly, but something unusual stirred in the water. Villagers paused, looking at the sea with wide eyes. Some said it was a trick of the light, but others felt a magic they could not explain. Far beneath the waves, in the hidden depths of the ocean, lived Nyara, the golden mermaid. Her hair glimmered like sunlight on water, and her tail sparkled with colors no human had ever seen. But Nyara was not just beautiful, she carried secrets. Secrets of the ocean, secrets of life, and secrets of courage and love. These secrets had been passed down from her ancestors, guardians of the deep sea. Nyara often swam near the shore, curious about the humans who lived there. She watched children play on the sand, fishermen pull nets full of fish, and families laugh around fires. But she was careful. Humans did not always understand mermaids. Some feared them. Some wanted their magic for themselves. Nyara had to stay hidden. That evening, as the sky turned darker and the first stars appeared, something caught her eye. A young girl was wandering alone near the water. Her dress was torn, and her bare feet sank into the wet sand. The girl's eyes were wide with fear, and she cried softly, her voice trembling in the wind. Nyara's heart stirred. She had seen humans in trouble before, but never one so young and lost. She swam closer, careful not to make a sound. The water shimmered around her golden tail as she rose near the surface. The girl stopped crying for a moment and stared at the glowing figure in the waves. "Do not be afraid," Nyara said, her voice soft but clear, like the sound of gentle waves. "I am here to help you." The girl gasped and took a small step back. Her fear mixed with wonder. Who are you?" she asked. "I am Nyara," the mermaid replied, smiling. "I watch over the waters and the people near them. I can help you get home." The girl's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. Nyara extended her shimmering hand. Slowly, the girl reached for it. The moment her hand touched Nyara's, she felt warmth and safety flow through her. The fear that had gripped her heart began to fade. As they moved together along the shoreline, Nyara spoke softly of the ocean's secrets. She told the girl how the waves could warn of storms, how the tides remembered everything that happened in the sea, and how courage could guide a lost heart back home. The girl listened, amazed. She had never heard stories like this before. By the time they reached the edge of the village, the girl could see her family in the distance. They ran toward her, shouting her name. Nyara stayed in the water, watching as the family embraced their child. She felt a quiet happiness. Her secret mission was complete, for now. But Nyara knew her work was not over. Humans were often careless with the ocean. Some would take too much, some would harm the creatures of the deep. She needed to protect the waters, guide the villagers, and teach lessons of courage, respect, and love. That night, as the stars reflected on the calm waves, villagers whispered about the golden mermaid they had seen. Some did not believe it, thinking it was only a dream. But others were certain. They had felt her magic. They had seen her kindness. And deep in their hearts, they knew that Nyara's secrets were real. Nyara disappeared into the depths of the ocean, but her presence remained. She was more than a legend, she was a guardian. She was a reminder that the sea held mysteries beyond imagination and that courage and love could shine as brightly as her golden tail. And so, the story of Nyara began to spread. Whispers turned into tales. Tales turned into lessons. And the golden mermaid of secrets and waves became a part of the hearts of the villagers, a magical protector who would always watch over them. The waves kept whispering, carrying her story to every corner of the coast. And anyone who listened carefully could hear her voice, gentle, kind, and full of secrets waiting to be discovered. The night after Nyara helped the lost girl, the village was quiet. The fireflies danced over the sand, and the waves whispered softly. Yet, not everyone felt peace. Some villagers were scared. They spoke in low voices about the golden mermaid. "She is real," said one elder, his eyes wide. "I saw her in the water. She glowed like sunlight." But what does she want from us? Others shook their heads. She is a spirit. She may bring trouble. We should stay away from the shore, they warned. Nyara, deep in the ocean, watched the village from below. She felt a mix of sadness and determination. Humans often feared what they did not understand. She knew she had to earn their trust. But how? The next morning, a strong storm arrived. The winds blew hard, and the waves grew tall and angry. Fishermen were out at sea, and the villagers shouted warnings from the shore. Boats were tossed by the waves, nets ripped apart, and the cries of men and women echoed across the coastline. Nyara felt the danger immediately. She dove swiftly through the water, her golden tail slicing through the stormy waves. She reached the fishermen just as their small boat tipped dangerously. With a strong push and careful guidance, she steadied the boat and led it back toward the shore. The villagers watched in awe. The golden mermaid glided through the waves, calm and powerful. Some of them were afraid, hiding behind rocks and trees. Others were amazed, seeing for the first time the magic they had only whispered about. When the fishermen reached the safety of the beach, they ran to their families, shouting about the mermaid who had saved them. The elder nodded slowly, realizing the truth. Nyara was no ordinary creature. She was a protector. She had saved lives without asking for anything in return. But not everyone believed. A few villagers whispered that Nyara had caused the storm herself, testing them. Fear clung to their hearts. Nyara knew that fear could make humans do foolish things. She had to show them her kindness again, in a way they could understand. That evening, she appeared near the shore once more. The young girl, Amina, ran toward her, waving excitedly. Nyara, thank you. You saved my friends, she cried. Nyara smiled gently. I do not seek thanks, she said. I only want to protect the ocean and those who live near it. Respect the waves, and you will live in harmony. Ignore them, and danger will come. Amina listened carefully, nodding. She ran to tell her parents about the lesson Nyara had shared. Slowly, other children came closer to the shore, curious and not afraid. They watched the golden mermaid with wonder in their eyes. That night, as the villagers settled near their fires, stories of Nyara spread even faster. Some whispered in fear, but most whispered in admiration. The golden mermaid had shown that courage and care could overcome even the fiercest storm. Nyara returned to the deep ocean, but she watched from below. She saw the village families helping one another, checking on friends, and showing kindness. She smiled, knowing that her lesson had begun to take root. Yet, a new challenge awaited. Far in the distance, dark clouds gathered over the sea, and a shadow moved under the waves. Not all creatures of the ocean were as kind as Nyara. Some were dangerous, greedy, and cruel. If they reached the village, humans could be in great danger. Nyara knew she had to protect them again, but this time, she would need more than courage. She would need trust from the villagers, their belief in her, and their willingness to respect the sea. The golden mermaid of secrets and waves was ready. Her journey was only beginning. The villagers had seen her magic, but they would soon discover that true strength comes not only from power but from love, wisdom, and unity. And so, as the storm settled and the moon rose high over the calm sea, Nyara disappeared beneath the waves. But her golden glow lingered in the hearts of the villagers, whispering softly, "The ocean is alive. Respect it. Protect it. And you will find your own courage." The story of Nyara was spreading, one heart at a time. Children dreamed of her glowing tale. Adults remembered her lesson of courage. And deep beneath the waves, the golden mermaid waited, ready for the next test, ready to show the humans that secrets, magic, and wisdom could change their lives forever. The next morning, the village awoke to a strange calm. The sea was quiet, almost too quiet. Fishermen prepared their boats cautiously, and children watched the waves with wide, curious eyes. Something in the air made the villagers uneasy, though they could not say why. Deep beneath the water, Nyara swam gracefully, her golden tail shimmering in the sunlight that pierced the surface. She sensed danger. Not all creatures in the ocean were friendly. A dark shadow moved swiftly in the deep, unseen by human eyes. Nyara knew it was a sea serpent, a dangerous creature that could destroy boats, homes, and lives if it reached the shore. Nyara's heart raced. She had to warn the village, but humans often did not understand her language. How could she save them before the shadow struck? Then she remembered the children who had seen her last, especially Amina. The young girl had already learned to trust the ocean and its secrets. Perhaps she could help. Nyara swam closer to the shore, her golden hair flowing like sunlight on water. She called to Amina, using soft sounds that only the girl could hear. Amina ran to the beach, her eyes wide with awe as she saw Nyara's glowing form rising from the waves. "Nyara," she cried. "What is wrong?" "The sea is not safe today," Nyara said. "A dark creature is moving toward the village. You must help me warn the people." Amina nodded quickly. She ran into the village, shouting to the adults. "Danger! The ocean is coming. The mermaid says we must be careful." At first, the villagers hesitated. Some laughed nervously, thinking the girl was imagining things. But when they looked at the sea, they saw Nyara's golden tail glimmering against the dark horizon. The glow was not ordinary light, it was magic. Suddenly, fear replaced doubt. "Prepare the boats," shouted the elder. "Bring the children inside. Protect what you can." Nyara swam closer, her heart pounding. She could see the shadow now, a massive serpent, black as the storm clouds, twisting and turning beneath the water. Its eyes glowed red, and waves crashed violently around it. If it reached the village, no human could stop it. With courage and skill, Nyara darted between the serpent and the shore. She moved swiftly, using her tail to stir the water and confuse the creature. The serpent lunged, but Nyara was faster. She sang a song, a melody that echoed through the waves. The song carried the secrets of the ocean, calming some parts, confusing others. The villagers watched in amazement. The golden mermaid battled the shadow, her movements graceful yet powerful. Children clutched each other, whispering prayers, while adults gasped in disbelief. Nyara's magic shone brighter than ever, and the shadow serpent grew weaker under her power. Finally, with one last swirl of her tail and a note that shook the waves, Nyara pushed the serpent back into the deep ocean. It disappeared into the darkness, leaving the village safe. The waves calmed, and sunlight sparkled on the water once more. The villagers ran to the shore, cheering and clapping. They had seen it, they had truly seen Nyara's power. The Golden Mermaid had not only saved their lives but had taught them an important lesson. Courage and wisdom could face even the darkest dangers. Amina ran to Nyara, hugging her gently. "Thank you, Nyara. You saved us all." Nyara smiled softly. "I only guide. Humans must learn to respect the ocean and protect each other. Today, you have done both." That evening, the village gathered around their fires. Stories of Nyara spread even faster now. Children whispered about her bravery, and adults spoke with awe of the Golden Mermaid who had faced the serpent. The fear that had lingered in their hearts was replaced by respect and wonder. Yet Nyara knew her journey was far from over. The ocean was full of secrets, some beautiful, some dangerous. She would need to guide the humans again, teach them patience, courage, and understanding. Her role as guardian was only beginning. And as the stars reflected on the calm waves, Nyara's golden form shimmered in the depths, reminding the village of her promise: "I will watch over you. I will guide you. Together, we can face the secrets of the ocean." The story of Nyara, the Golden Mermaid, spread farther than ever. Her legend grew with every heart she touched. The villagers began to understand that magic, courage, and wisdom were always closer than they imagined. Sometimes, they shimmered in the golden glow of a mermaid who protected them from the waves. The morning after the sea serpent had disappeared, the village awoke to a bright and calm day. The sun reflected off the water, and the waves lapped gently at the shore. For the first time in many days, the villagers felt safe, but a quiet tension remained in the air. They had seen the Golden Mermaid in action. They had seen the power of the ocean and realized they could not control it. Deep in the water, Nyara swam slowly, thinking. The humans had begun to trust her, but trust alone was not enough. They had to learn to respect the ocean, to understand its secrets and dangers. Otherwise, one day, another shadow might rise, and they would be helpless. She surfaced near the shore, letting her golden tail catch the sunlight. Children ran to the edge of the water, smiling and waving. Adults watched cautiously, unsure whether to approach or remain on the sand. Nyara's presence was both comforting and strange. They had never seen anything so magical. "Today, I will teach you the ways of the ocean," Nyara said, her voice calm and melodic. Not with words alone, but with the lessons hidden in the waves. She guided the villagers to small, shallow pools along the coast. In the pools, colorful fish darted among rocks, and tiny crabs scuttled across the sand. "Every creature has a place and purpose," Nyara explained. "Disturb them, and the balance is broken. Respect them, and life flows in harmony." The children listened eagerly, their eyes wide. Some of the adults began to understand. They watched as Nyara lifted a small, struggling crab and gently placed it back among the rocks. Even such a simple act, they realized, held meaning. It was not about power. It was about care. Then Nyara took the villagers farther along the shore, where the waves grew stronger. She showed them how the tides could warn of storms and how shells and driftwood could tell the story of the sea. "Listen to the water," she said. "It speaks in whispers. Learn its language, and you will know when danger approaches." Amina, the young girl Nyara had saved before, watched intently. She remembered how lost she had been and how the golden mermaid had guided her. Now, she felt proud to learn from Nyara herself. She began to understand that courage and wisdom were gifts anyone could hold if they were willing to listen. Suddenly, a loud splash interrupted the lesson. A young boy had wandered too close to the edge, chasing a crab, and a strong wave knocked him into the shallow water. Panic rose among the villagers. Nyara moved instantly, her golden tail cutting through the water. She scooped the boy into her arms and returned him safely to the sand. "See," Nyara said softly. "Even the smallest mistake can bring danger. But courage and care can save the day." The villagers began to nod, understanding that Nyara's lessons were more than stories. They were life lessons. They started to help each other along the shore, guiding the children, watching the water, and learning to respect the creatures that lived in it. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in gold and pink, Nyara rose once more above the water. Her tail glimmered like firelight. "Remember this," she said. "The ocean gives life, but it can also take it. Protect it, respect it, and live in harmony with it. The secrets of the waves are powerful, but they are meant to teach, not harm." The villagers were silent, filled with awe. The golden mermaid had not only saved them but had given them knowledge and wisdom. Children ran home, excitedly telling their families everything they had learned. Adults whispered among themselves, realizing that their lives had changed forever. That night, as the stars reflected on the calm sea, Nyara disappeared beneath the waves. But her golden glow lingered, a reminder that the ocean was alive, and that every action mattered. The villagers understood that courage, wisdom, and care were as important as any magic Nyara had shown them. And so, the Golden Mermaid's lessons spread through the village. Her story became more than a legend. It became a guide, a promise that with respect, bravery, and love, humans and the ocean could live together in harmony. Nyara watched from below, her heart full. Her journey to teach the villagers had begun, and she knew there were more secrets to reveal. The ocean was deep, the waves were endless, and the adventure had only just begun. The morning after Nyara had taught the villagers the secrets of the waves, the sun rose bright over the coastline. Children laughed and played near the shore, while adults worked with care, remembering the lessons the Golden Mermaid had shared. For a moment, it seemed that peace had settled over the village. But deep beneath the calm waters, Nyara sensed a new danger. A dark shadow slithered silently through the ocean, faster and stronger than the sea serpent she had faced before. It was a group of fierce ocean creatures, jellyfish as large as boats, and sharks moving in unusual patterns. Nyara knew that if they reached the village, the people would not survive. She swam swiftly toward the surface, her golden tail shining in the morning light. The villagers watched her, noticing her sudden urgency. Nyara's presence was always calming, but this time it carried a warning. "A new danger approaches," she called softly to Amina, who had come to the shore once again. "We must be ready." Amina ran through the village, shouting to the adults. At first, some villagers hesitated, remembering how Nyara had protected them before. But the urgency in her voice convinced them. They grabbed nets, ropes, and any tools they could find, preparing for the unknown threat. The shadow reached the shore quickly. Dark shapes appeared just beneath the water, moving with speed and intelligence. The villagers could hear the splashes and the roar of the waves. Panic rose, but Nyara was there. She moved with grace, weaving through the water to block the creatures from reaching the village. Her golden tail created waves that confused the predators. She sang a powerful melody, a song of the ocean's secrets. It calmed some of the creatures, guiding them away from the shore. Others grew angry and lashed at the waves, but Nyara did not waver. She used her knowledge of the currents and tides to push the danger farther out to sea. The villagers watched in amazement. They had never seen anything so powerful and beautiful. Children clung to their mothers, eyes wide, while adults whispered, "She is not just a mermaid, she is a guardian of our lives." After hours of careful work, Nyara finally led the creatures back into the deeper ocean, where they belonged. The water calmed, and the sky turned soft shades of pink and gold. The villagers ran to the shore, cheering for the golden mermaid who had saved them again. Amina hugged Nyara tightly. "You are the bravest, Nyara. How do you do it?" she asked, eyes shining. Nyara smiled, her golden hair flowing like sunlight. "It is not only courage," she said. "It is understanding, respect, and wisdom. Humans and ocean creatures must live together. That is why I guide you, and why you must listen." The elder of the village stepped forward, bowing slightly. "We understand now," he said. "We have seen your power and your wisdom. We will protect the ocean as you have taught us. We will teach our children to respect it, always." Nyara's heart warmed. Her mission was slowly succeeding. The villagers were learning that the ocean's magic was not only in its creatures but in its lessons. Courage and care could change their lives as much as her power had. As the sun set over the calm waters, Nyara rose once more, letting her golden glow reflect on the waves. The villagers gathered near the shore, silent and amazed. For the first time, they truly understood that magic, bravery, and wisdom could exist in one being, and that one being had chosen to protect them. The Golden Mermaid knew, however, that her journey was far from over. There were still secrets to teach, dangers to prevent, and lessons to guide the villagers toward. She had begun a bond with them, and that bond must grow stronger for the future. That night, the stars shone brightly, mirrored by Nyara's glowing tail beneath the calm waves. Her story was spreading farther than ever, becoming a legend that inspired courage and care. And in every heart that listened carefully, the Golden Mermaid's voice whispered, "Respect the ocean. Protect each other. Learn the secrets of life, and you will find true strength." The villagers slept peacefully that night, knowing that Nyara, the Golden Mermaid of secrets and waves, was always watching. Her magic, her courage, and her wisdom would guide them through any storm to come. The village had begun to change. Children played safely near the shore, their laughter ringing across the sand. Adults worked together, repairing nets, caring for small boats, and teaching the young ones about the ocean. They remembered Nyara's lessons: respect the waves, protect life, and act with courage. For a time, it seemed as though peace would last forever. But Nyara sensed a new test approaching. A powerful storm was forming far out at sea, unlike any she had felt before. Dark clouds swirled together, and the wind howled like a wild animal. The waves began to rise, frothing white against the calm beach. Even the bravest fishermen paused, feeling the tension in the air. Nyara swam swiftly to the surface, her golden tail cutting through the turbulent waters. She needed to warn the villagers before the storm struck. Children ran to the beach, hoping to see their friend the Golden Mermaid. Adults gathered, anxious but ready to listen. "This is not a normal storm," Nyara said, her voice carrying over the wind. "The ocean is testing us. The waves will be dangerous, but if we work together and follow the lessons you have learned, we can survive." The villagers looked at one another, understanding for the first time that courage alone would not save them. They had to act wisely and carefully. Nyara began to guide them, showing how to secure boats, stack supplies, and protect the youngest children. As the storm grew nearer, the waves crashed higher, and the wind tore through the village. Some villagers panicked, forgetting the lessons Nyara had taught. But Amina remembered everything. She shouted instructions to the others, her voice steady. Protect the children first. Hold the ropes. Listen to Nyara. Nyara moved through the storm, her golden tail shining like a beacon. She guided the villagers from the water, showing them which paths were safest and how to avoid hidden dangers beneath the waves. She sang a gentle, powerful song, and the villagers began to feel calm despite the storm's fury. Suddenly, a large wave struck a boat tied to the shore, knocking it loose. The villagers gasped, but Nyara was ready. She pushed the boat back with careful strength, using her tail to anchor it safely. The villagers watched, amazed, realizing how much skill, patience, and wisdom it took to face the ocean's power. Hours passed, and the storm raged on. Rain poured down, soaking everyone, but Nyara continued to guide them. She reminded the villagers, the ocean is alive. It can give life and take it. Respect it, and you will survive. Fear it, and you will fall. The villagers listened. They worked together, holding hands, helping one another, and following Nyara's instructions. Even those who had doubted the Golden Mermaid before now understood her true power, not just in her magic, but in her guidance, wisdom, and care. Finally, as night fell, the storm began to subside. The waves calmed, and the clouds parted to reveal the moon shining brightly over the calm sea. The villagers cheered, hugging each other and thanking Nyara. They had survived the test. They had faced fear and danger, and they had learned how courage, wisdom, and unity could protect them. Nyara rose above the water, letting her golden glow reflect across the calm waves. She smiled at the villagers, proud of their bravery and understanding. "You have learned well," she said softly. "Remember these lessons always. The ocean will continue to test you, but now you are ready." Amina ran to the shore, wrapping her arms around Nyara. "You are the bravest, Nyara. We could not have done it without you," she said, tears of joy in her eyes. Nyara nodded. Bravery is important, but so is learning, listening, and caring for each other. These are the true secrets of the waves. Carry them in your hearts always. That night, the villagers returned to their homes, exhausted but full of hope. The story of Nyara spread through the village, growing richer with each telling. Children dreamed of her golden tail and her song, while adults shared her lessons with one another. The Golden Mermaid had not only protected them but had shown them the path to wisdom and unity. And beneath the calm waves, Nyara swam quietly, her glow lighting the ocean's depths. She knew there would be more challenges ahead, more tests for the villagers and for herself. But for now, the village had learned a powerful truth: courage guided by wisdom, care, and respect could overcome even the fiercest storm. And so, Nyara's legend grew, one heart at a time, spreading hope, courage, and the knowledge that the ocean and life itself was full of secrets waiting to be understood. The village had changed forever. Children ran freely along the shore, laughing as the waves kissed their feet. Adults worked together, repairing boats, planting gardens, and sharing stories about the Golden Mermaid who had saved them again and again. Nyara's lessons had become part of their daily lives: respect the ocean, protect one another, and act with courage and wisdom. But one evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with orange and gold, a new challenge appeared. A strange fog rolled in from the sea, thick and cold, hiding the horizon. It moved silently, curling like a serpent, and a strange sound echoed through the waves, low, haunting, and full of power. Nyara sensed it immediately. This was no ordinary fog. It carried a dark magic from the depths of the ocean, a test that would challenge the village's courage, unity, and trust in her. She swam swiftly to the shore, her golden tail cutting through the water, shining like sunlight even in the grey mist. The villagers gathered quickly. Children held hands, adults stood together, and Amina ran to the shore, her eyes bright with determination. "Nyara," she called. "We are ready. Whatever comes, we will face it with you." Nyara smiled. "You have learned much," she said. "Now it is time to see if you can use it. Stay calm. Work together. Respect the ocean, and nothing will harm you." As the fog thickened, strange shapes began to appear, twisting waves, shadows of unknown sea creatures, and currents that pulled strongly at the shore. Fear gripped some villagers, but Amina shouted encouragement. Remember what Nyara taught us. Courage, care, and wisdom. Nyara moved gracefully through the fog, guiding the villagers step by step. She used her golden glow to light the path, and her song echoed over the waves, calming the restless waters. Slowly, the villagers began to understand the rhythm of the ocean, just as Nyara had taught them. Together, they worked as one. Children guided small animals to safety. Adults held ropes, secured boats, and protected each other. Even the villagers who had doubted Nyara's magic began to trust her completely. They moved with courage, listening to her advice and learning from her every action. Suddenly, the fog shifted, and a massive shadow appeared, an enormous creature from the deep, black as night, with glowing eyes and jagged fins. It roared, sending waves crashing toward the shore. The villagers froze in fear. But Nyara was ready. She darted forward, her golden tail creating a shield of shimmering water. She sang a melody so pure and strong that the waves themselves seemed to bend to her will. The creature struggled against her magic, but Nyara did not give up. She guided the villagers, telling them when to pull, when to step back, and how to work together to protect each other. Slowly, through courage, unity, and wisdom, they managed to drive the creature back into the depths. The fog lifted, the waves calmed, and the sky glowed with the first stars of night. The villagers cheered, hugging each other. Tears of relief and joy streamed down their faces. They had survived, not just because of Nyara's magic, but because they had learned to trust, respect, and work together. Amina ran to Nyara, wrapping her arms around the golden mermaid. "We did it. We really did it. Thank you, Nyara." Nyara smiled, her eyes soft and warm. "You did it yourselves," she said. "I guided you, but your courage, care, and unity saved you. Remember this always." The villagers realized the truth. Nyara's power had been incredible, but the real magic was in the lessons she had taught them. Respect for the ocean, bravery in the face of fear, and love for one another were stronger than any storm or shadow. That night, as the stars reflected on the calm sea, Nyara rose one last time. Her golden glow shimmered across the waves, a symbol of hope, courage, and wisdom. The villagers whispered stories of her, passing them to children, and promising to teach future generations. Nyara had become more than a legend. She was a guardian, a teacher, and a reminder that even the smallest acts of care and courage could change the world. Then, with a final wave of her tail, Nyara dove beneath the waves, disappearing into the depths. The village remained safe, the villagers stronger, and the story of the golden mermaid of secrets and waves would live forever in their hearts. The ocean whispered her name, the stars sparkled above, and every child and adult in the village knew one thing: magic, courage, and wisdom could shine brighter than even the darkest dangers if they were guided by the heart.